Life is not promised. Every moment is a gift, not a guarantee. We live like we have unlimited time, like tomorrow is already waiting for us with open arms. But the truth is, tomorrow is a concept, not a promise. Today is all we truly have. There are people who were here yesterday and are gone today. Lives cut short. Dreams left unfinished, goodbyes never spoken. We scroll through life, rushing past moments that are actually sacred. We put off the words we should say, the goals we should chase, the changes we should make. Why? Because we think we have time. But life doesn't come with a countdown clock we can see. And that alone should ignite a fire in your soul, to live fully, deeply, and intentionally right now. Time waits for no one. It doesn't pause when you're tired. It doesn't slow down while you figure things out. Every second ticks forward without asking for permission. And if you're not careful, your dreams will slip away with it. You can't keep saying someday like it's guaranteed. Someday is where dreams go to die. You were not created to keep pushing your purpose to the back of the line, while fear or comfort sits in the front. The opportunities you ignore today may not return tomorrow. Every time you delay your growth, you're planting seeds of regret. Use your time wisely, not fearfully but intentionally. Invest in your calling like your life depends on it, because it does. Regret is heavier than failure. Don't let fear of failing stop you from trying. Failure is a lesson. Regret is a prison. You will survive the embarrassment of falling short, but you may never recover from the ache of wondering what if. What if you had spoken up? What if you had written the book, taken the leap, left the toxic relationship, started the business? Life is too short to carry the weight of unattempted greatness. Don't let your potential die in your comfort zone. Take the risk while you can, because there will come a time when the chance is no longer yours to take. And in that moment, it won't be failure that haunts you. It will be your silence, your hesitation, your excuses. The graveyard is full of unfulfilled dreams, songs that were never sung, books never written, businesses never launched, love never expressed. That silent field holds more potential than most boardrooms. Don't let your ideas and gifts be buried with you. You were not born to merely exist. You were born to create, to build, to love, to lead, and to impact. Every dream inside you is there for a reason. It's not random. It's a divine assignment waiting on your courage to come alive. If you delay, if you wait until the perfect time, you risk never stepping into your calling. Don't let the dirt of fear cover the seeds of greatness inside you. Say what you need to say. Tell the people you love that you love them. Don't assume they already know. Life can change in an instant, and words left unsaid often turn into lifelong pain. Forgive even when they don't apologize. Release the bitterness that's been poisoning your peace. Speak your truth, even if your voice shakes. We waste so much of our short time pretending, hiding, holding grudges, or staying silent out of fear. But nothing is more freeing than living and loving authentically. Don't leave this earth with your heart full of unspoken love and your mouth sealed by pride. Be bold, be vulnerable, be real. Life is too short for anything less. Chase passion over perfection. Stop waiting until it's ready. Stop waiting until you feel worthy. Your joy, your peace, your creative fire matter more than polished appearances or curated perfection. Perfection is a myth designed to keep you stuck. Passion is the fuel that wakes you up and gives your life meaning. What lights your soul? What makes time disappear? That's where your energy should go. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't need to be the best. You just need to be in motion. Progress beats perfection every time. Follow your fire. It's the compass to your purpose. Impact outlasts lifespan. Your time on earth may be short, but your influence can echo for generations. It's not about how long you live. It's about how deeply you love, how fiercely you serve, how boldly you show up. The smallest act of kindness can change someone's life. A moment of encouragement could redirect someone's destiny. You may never see the full impact of your life, but that doesn't mean it's not powerful. You were born to make waves, not ripples. Don't chase fame, chase purpose, chase substance. Leave something behind that outlives you, not in statues or plaques, but in souls touched and lives changed. Let go of petty things. Life is too short to stay angry, to hold on to drama, to entertain jealousy or gossip. Don't waste your energy on who said what, who didn't support you, or who underestimated you. Your destiny is not tied to the opinions of small-minded people. The longer you hold on to pettiness, the longer you delay your peace. You have too much potential to be distracted by nonsense. Let people be who they are, and you be who God created you to be. Focused, faithful, and free. Protect your energy like it's sacred, because it is. Live with urgency, not anxiety. This isn't about rushing through life. It's about waking up to its value. It's not about panic. It's about purpose. There's a difference between being busy and being intentional. Cut the noise. Tune out the distractions. Ask yourself daily, am I doing what matters? If it doesn't bring peace, purpose, or progress, it doesn't deserve your energy. Don't let urgency push you into panic mode. Let it push you into clarity. Every decision, every step, every yes and no should be driven by alignment, not pressure. When you live on purpose, urgency becomes empowerment, not stress. And if you woke up today, you still have time to write a different ending. No matter what your past looks like, no matter how many years you feel you've wasted, it's not too late. You're not too old. You're not too broken. You're not too far gone. As long as there's breath in your lungs, there is still a page left to write. The story isn't over unless you stop turning the pages. Get back up. Try again. Love again. Create again. Forgive again. Believe again. This moment right now can be the turning point. Not because everything changes instantly, but because you decide to change. Life is short, but it's also beautiful and powerful, and yours to live boldly. Time waits for no one. Procrastination is the enemy of purpose. Every second that slips by is a moment you'll never get back. We fool ourselves into believing we can delay our calling until we feel ready, until conditions are perfect, until we've figured everything out. But readiness is not a requirement for obedience. Time does not pause for your fears to subside. It doesn't stop moving while you rehearse your excuses. Time moves forward with or without your permission. And if you don't learn how to move with it, you'll look up one day and realize you've wasted years being almost ready. You'll realize you spent more time planning than executing, more time thinking than doing, more time doubting than believing. While you were hesitating, opportunities passed. While you were overthinking, doors closed. While you were second-guessing, somebody else with half your talent, but twice your courage, walked into your destiny. Time is a currency, and every minute you spend, you can't get back. The question is, what are you spending your life on? Purpose doesn't wait for perfection. It demands action. And the more you postpone what you were born to do, the more you train yourself to live in delay. Procrastination becomes a habit, and habits shape identity. The longer you put things off, the more you become someone who accepts delay as normal. But deep down, your spirit knows you were built for more. That restlessness you feel, that divine discomfort, it's not anxiety. It's a calling knocking on the door of your soul. You were made to move, made to build, made to act. And the longer you sit in procrastination, the more you mute the sound of your own destiny. Time has a rhythm, and if you ignore it long enough, you miss the divine appointments that come with it. There are certain blessings that only show up in specific seasons. Miss the moment, and you may miss the miracle. And let's be honest, most of the time procrastination isn't about laziness. It's about fear. Fear of failure. Fear of judgment. Fear that we're not enough. So instead of trying and risking disappointment, we delay. We bury ourselves in distractions, call it preparation, and convince ourselves we're just waiting for the right time. But that fear isn't protecting you. It's paralyzing you. Fear whispers, wait until you're confident. Purpose says, move even when you're scared. Fear says, what if you fail? Purpose says, what if you fly? Fear says, What if they don't support you? Purpose says, go anyway. When you let fear dictate your timeline, you give it authority it never deserved. And fear is a terrible master. It will always rob you of the now, in exchange for a future it has no power to control. The enemy of your destiny isn't always evil. It's often comfort. Procrastination is comfort disguised as caution. It feels safe to stay where you are, to keep postponing the hard decisions, to delay the leap. But nothing extraordinary grows in comfort zones. Everything you want, your goals, your healing, your next level, is on the other side of a step you haven't taken yet. And every day you delay that step, you remain in a version of yourself that's too small for your calling. You were not made to survive. You were made to thrive. And thriving requires movement. It requires discomfort. It requires sacrifice. If you want to walk in purpose, you have to stop worshiping comfort. Time is neutral. It doesn't care whether you win or waste it. It just moves. That's why discipline matters. That's why urgency matters. You don't rise by chance. You rise by choice. You won't stumble into greatness. You commit to it, day by day, hour by hour, even when you're tired, even when you don't feel inspired, even when the results are invisible. You keep showing up, because procrastination robs the prepared. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't move when it's time, you forfeit the blessing. Your destiny isn't just tied to your gift, it's tied to your timing. And don't think for 1 second that time doesn't matter, because you're young, or you feel like you have plenty of it. Youth is not a guarantee of longevity. People die with dreams still inside them every single day. The grave doesn't just swallow the old, it swallows the unready, the distracted, the arrogant, the hesitant. If you woke up today, you have a gift others didn't receive. What are you doing with it? How are you honoring the time you still have? Wasting time is not just unwise. It's ungrateful. It's disrespectful to the God who gave you life, to the people who believe in you, and to the purpose you were born to fulfill. You don't need another year to start. You don't need another motivational quote. You don't need more clarity. You need courage. You need to decide that delay is no longer your destiny. Even now, while you're listening to this, time is passing, and it's not coming back. Don't wait for tragedy to remind you of what matters. Don't wait until life humbles you with loss to realize how short it really is. You have the power to act now, to say what you need to say, to start what you need to start, to finish what you began years ago. Life is short, time is fast, and purpose is urgent. So what are you waiting for? The world doesn't need more perfect people. It needs more people willing to move in purpose, even when it's messy, even when it's scary, even when it's inconvenient. Get serious about your life. Stop flirting with your calling. Stop playing small to make others comfortable. Stop lying to yourself, saying you'll get to it later. Later is a liar. Later is where dreams go to rot. Choose now. Choose action. Choose obedience. Because every excuse you make is another brick in the wall between you and the life you were born to live. And one day, you'll either stand on the foundation of your discipline, or stare at the ruins of your delay. If you want to live a life that matters, you must break up with procrastination. You must divorce the idea that time is endless. You must confront the fear that says you're not enough, and replace it with the truth that God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. And if He put it in you, He'll see it through you. But He can't move in what you won't move on. Faith without works is dead. Passion without pursuit is fantasy. Time without action is waste. So rise up. Take the first step. Write the book. Start the business. Heal the wound. Say the apology. Begin the workout. Apply for the job. End the relationship. Say the I love you. Do the thing you've been delaying for far too long. This is not just another day. It's a divine window. And you don't know how long that window will stay open. What you plant in this moment will determine the harvest of your future. You can't keep putting your life on hold, like you have forever, because you don't. Time waits for no one. And procrastination is not just a habit. It's a spiritual attack on your destiny. Fight back with action. Fight back with faith. Fight back by choosing today. Regret is heavier than failure. Take the risk while you can. There's something haunting about the weight of a missed opportunity. It stays with you. It doesn't fade the way temporary embarrassment does. It doesn't ease over time the way failure often does. Regret creeps in during the quiet moments. It whispers to you when you're alone. It shows up in conversations you didn't have, in chances you didn't take, in love you didn't express, and in doors you chose not to walk through. You can recover from failure. You can fall and rise again. You can make a mistake, learn from it, and come back wiser and stronger. But regret follows you. It becomes a shadow that lingers over what could have been. And the tragedy is, most people don't realize this until it's too late, until the moment is gone, until time has moved on, until the opportunity is now a memory. Failure is not your enemy. It's your teacher. It's proof that you tried, that you had the courage to step out, even when the outcome wasn't guaranteed. Failure is part of success. It's not the opposite of it. Every person who ever did something great failed along the way. What separates the fulfilled from the frustrated is not the absence of failure. It's the absence of regret. Regret is the byproduct of hesitation. It's the fruit of fear-driven decisions. It's the reward for playing it safe. When you were called to be bold, people don't sit on their deathbeds, mourning the risks they took. They mourn the chances they were too afraid to take. They don't regret being brave. They regret being passive. They don't regret falling. They regret never flying. You have one life, one chance, one window, one breath at a time. And what you do with it matters. Too many of us are trading a meaningful life for a comfortable one. We're choosing routine over risk, safety over purpose, familiarity over destiny. And we justify it with fear. We say, what if it doesn't work? But what if it does? What if the step you're afraid to take is the exact one that changes your life? What if the thing you're hesitating on is the very door God wants to open? What if your leap of faith is the key to someone else's breakthrough too? Because your courage doesn't just bless you. It blesses everyone connected to your assignment. Risk is a spiritual principle. It takes faith to move when the outcome is uncertain. It takes trust to step when you can't see the whole staircase. That's where God shows up. Not in the comfort zone, but in the place of vulnerability. It's when you risk your pride, your fear, your image, and your control, that heaven moves in power. When Peter stepped out of the boat, he didn't wait for the sea to calm. He didn't wait for the water to turn into stone. He stepped while it was still risky. And yes, he sank, but he also walked. He experienced a miracle no one else in the boat ever did. The others stayed dry, but they also stayed ordinary. Playing it safe may keep you from sinking, but it'll also keep you from soaring. You've got dreams in your heart, visions in your spirit, callings you've ignored for years, not because they weren't real, but because you were afraid. Afraid of looking foolish, afraid of failing, afraid of losing approval. But what you're losing by not trying is far worse. You're losing time. You're losing growth. You're losing alignment with your purpose. And the longer you avoid the risk, the louder the regret becomes. You can't mute regret with distractions. You can't numb it forever. Sooner or later it finds you. And when it does, it won't ask what you tried. It'll ask what you abandoned. The clock is ticking. And no one, not your boss, not your friends, not even your family, can pursue your calling for you. It's your responsibility. It's your burden. It's your privilege. Playing it safe may keep you light. It may keep you in control, but it will never make you fulfilled. There is a fire in your soul that cannot be satisfied with mediocrity. And if you keep ignoring it, you'll end up living a life that looks good on the outside, but feels hollow on the inside. Success isn't about applause. It's about alignment. It's about knowing deep down that you did what you were created to do, even if it scared you. Every risk you take in faith builds spiritual muscle. You grow through obedience. You expand by stretching. When you risk in the direction of purpose, you gain even in your losses. You become wiser, stronger, braver, and most importantly, you become more you, the authentic you, the called you, the anointed you, the version of you that refuses to be tamed by fear. That's who the world needs. That's who you need. Because the longer you play a role that feels safe, the more disconnected you become from the real you. And hear me clearly. Failure will not break you. Playing small will. Staying stuck will. Living beneath your purpose will. You were created to take territory, not to tiptoe through life, hoping you don't get hurt. Yes, risk comes with wounds, but regret comes with chains. Chains of what ifs. Chains of bitterness. Chains of if only. And those chains are far heavier than any scar you'll get from trying and falling. At least the scar tells a story of a warrior who fought. Regret tells the story of someone who never left the battlefield. Some of you are waiting for a sign. This is it. You're waiting for permission. Here it is. You're waiting for clarity. Let me tell you, sometimes clarity comes after the step, not before. Take the risk. Apply for the position. Launch the idea. Speak the truth. End the toxic relationship. Make the move. Start the chapter. Write the song. Build the thing that keeps you up at night. You may fall, but you also might fly. And even if you fall, at least you'll fall forward. At least you'll know you honored your gift. At least you'll know you tried. And that is always, always better than wondering what could have been. The enemy of your destiny isn't just fear, it's delay. You think you're buying time, but you're actually selling your soul. Every time you choose to stay where you are, instead of where you're called, you're training your spirit to settle. And eventually settling becomes second nature. Don't let that happen. Fight back. With faith. With action. With boldness. You weren't born to be lukewarm. You weren't born to stay in the shallow end. Dive deep. Leap big. Risk strong. Because life is short. And regret is eternal.